What's going on, world? This is Vinny Rodriguez, also known to many of you out there as 8-Figure Vision, here to provide today the next entry in our vast book series is the book Alaska. This book is published by James Michener. Sorry, Michener, if I butchered your name. But yeah, this book is written by James Michener. And Michener, I'm here at a Starbucks, just getting some work done in the meantime. I got some trades that I'm working on at the moment, looking into some of my investment accounts. But right now, guys, I had to take some time to really delve into this book. I borrowed it from the library, and the library is now charging me because I've held this. How many pages? I've held this 1,111 page book for way too much time, guys. So this book is highly anecdotal. It's highly anecdotal. There are a lot of stories. It's pretty much chronicling all of the stories of the people who are either from and live from Alaska, or people who are people who travel to Alaska, maybe people doing research projects, doing work projects, or doing some sort of adventurism, exploring, tourism, etc. So it's really cataloging all of this into the book, and it's I would say this is a good book to borrow from unless you live in Alaska and you want to learn everything that has to do with Alaska. I'm in Massachusetts. So if there's something that you really would like to learn about Alaska, maybe just pick up a few things, then I would suggest borrow it from your local library and find some good stories in there that capture your attention. How to do that? I would suggest look in the table of contents, and the table of contents is quite extensive from what I remember. So what you want to do is it's pretty brief. The table of contents doesn't go over too much, right? But just look at a topic that you want. Like for me, the one that I want to look up was gold. Like I want to learn more about what is the economic situation in Alaska and how is that impacting the people there, right? So I found amazing stories I'm about to share with you in a moment, right? But there's other great parts that are more highly historical, also other parts that are highly geographical or geological, better said, and then there are other parts that are highly more focused on adventure. So one thing that I noticed, right, my suggestions of chapters to really look into if you're gonna borrow this book is The Rim of Fire. Definitely look into that one. Look into the introduction. Definitely a really great way to kind of put your mind into the context of this book. And then People of the North, as well as Gold. Those were all really, really great chapters to make. So, guys, I'm gonna get straight in and just talking about the chapter from Gold, and also from something from Rim of Fire that I really heard that was very interesting. So, first of all, Rim of Fire. What was very interesting, for those of you that don't know, I'm starting a vegan diet, so I heard a lot about the Eskimo culture, and the Eskimo culture hunting walruses. Actually, nowadays in Anchorage, or when this book was written in Anchorage, for the capital of Alaska, they had banned. It was actually illegal to hunt walrus, right, because of their threat of extinction, right? So they were trying to preserve the species. So the state had made it illegal, and there was some explorers that went over to a village, a town out there, and they met some of the local Eskimos. They spent some time with them over there, and they were hunting walruses. It was a very interesting immersion that they had with the culture, because they really got to learn the way the people live, the way of the people, right? And the only thing was, it kind of had this sense of like Native American, European the sort of pilgrim story, right, when they first arrived. And but the different part was, they were really doing it to hunting prey versus, people betraying other people or anything like that. We didn't have that in this story. But it kind of took me back to when I was in the Peace Corps. And, the explorers, they spent some time with the local Eskimos, and they hunt walrus. So this story of the explorers are there, and, they're hungry, they're starving, it's cold, it's like however many double digit below zero. And the guys are, all of the guys that are there, they sit and, because they stop for a moment while they're walking through the land. They find a walrus, and near the neighborhood of the Eskimos where they're staying. So the explorers had hunting equipment. They had guns, like shotguns, right? So luckily they also knew how to hunt. So what they did was they saw the perfect opportunity to collaborate with the Eskimos, so they hunt the walrus. And they did. They hunted the walrus. They actually spot him from very far, shot him dead in the head, and then in that instant moment, they didn't realize, but the youth, the local Eskimos that were there as well, they also shot almost at the same exact time as these men did, because they knew that the one shot that he did to the walrus's head wasn't going to be enough to kill him. In fact, they didn't want to see the walrus suffer and go through pain, right, by being injured by the bullet and not actually dying. So what they did was, both of the local Eskimos, they sent the equal amount of shots at the same time, and it wasn't even noticeable. The explorers didn't even notice that a shot happened. They thought they did it all on their own. But when they approached the carcass of the walrus, they realized that there were multiple shots, and it came from the local Eskimos. So the moral to the story here, guys, sorry for parental advisor, I might have to put that on this video, is that this was an immersive experience, right? Eventually what ended up happening was, now they take the carcass of the walrus and they eat it for meat. They bring it to their family, right? The town actually had an entire celebration on the walrus, right? Because it was a once in a however many times experience where they got to eat meat. Eating meat there was somewhat of a luxury. It's not like they have so many animals there, and it's not even legally favorable to eat the local meat there, which is what you're not gonna find chicken in Alaska, right, in the middle of nowhere in Alaska, unless you're living in the city. So what's interesting about this is that while everyone's eating the food, everyone's eating the walrus meat, the local Eskimos, they keep the walrus's head as a prize, right? And you find this with many indigenous cultures, right, around the world. Even today, this is something that's still well prized, although they saw it as a rewarding experience in which they could, in which the walrus's head signified a trophy, signified a win, right, a great win. So the hunters, the explorers that were there, they wondered whether they can take it home with them, right? And the local Eskimos said, no, that's not gonna happen. You're not gonna get through Anchorage with that, because it's illegal, and they didn't know that. So what's interesting about that is, well, me looking at it as a vegan is like, well, good thing that it's banned, right, to eat that type of meat. But the second thing is that the local people there, see, this is how humans for thousands and thousands of years originally ate, right? They originally celebrated when they ate meat, because and like in this instance with the walrus meat, because it was a luxury. It was only probably once a year, or once, so scarce that they were able to celebrate it and enjoy it, right? But now that we live in such an abundant planet where we have access to things we never had access to before, like quinoa, clean water, green tea, and other things on this planet, right? Chicken you can find in anything nowadays, right? It's like, because we become so abundant in our resources, then we tend to abuse of that same abundance that we have and take it for granted. All right. Well, what we don't remember is that those same things that we harvested and cultivated gratitude, we tend to now just kind of say, oh well, we just have this is fine, right? So when was the last time you appreciated or you celebrated, wow, I have electricity, I have, shelter in my house, I have warmth at my home, I have heat, I have things in my house, that I have things in my life, I have family, friends, right? I have a job, I have an occupation. These things that are just very, very like standard things that most of us have nowadays. But how many of us are actually grateful that we have the simple things? So honor the simple things, guys. Just as the Eskimos, we learned from that. The Eskimos, they still live today in 2017, and with that in mind, they still have joyous things to celebrate that to some people may seem primitive, but to other people they're looking at value in the things that they have every single day. So think of it like that, guys. I probably overdrew that point, although that's something that I noticed just from learning from that culture, right? I mean, there's even information to hear about mothers bathing their children in freezing cold water, and and the reason was because they wanted to teach their children to become brave. All right, that's for all of you hot shower takers out there, right? Like myself, but I'll take a cold shower now and then, every once in a while. So here are the things that happen, guys, right? I was gonna get in the gold part, but I think you guys already got something. I mean, pretty much what happened in the gold chapter, there's a commitment, there's a town or there's a territory, and they find gold. The gold they find that there's a potential for gold. They're gonna need a lot of equipment. They go on this adventure, and it's wild and it's all intense, like you see how I'm all acting up right now. And it's a very interesting way to look at it. You think that you would only find gold in like tropical areas, but the adventure that they went through to dig for gold here, right? The days that they had to starve, the sacrifices that they had to make in order to fulfill their gold conquest is very interesting. So take a look at this book. My 13-minute video here doesn't do it enough justice. But what I would say is just look for the anecdotes and then form your own opinion. And if you do happen to read the book, make sure to comment below, like, share with someone who you think would greatly enjoy this overview. And until the next of our Vast Book series, guys, this is again Vinny Rodriguez from Infinite Insights, and you can look me up on Instagram, 8 Figure Vision. And again, this is part of your Vast Book series. Signing out, over and out.